A couple things have happened recently, one of which with Nintendo, and another one, an announcement that was made recently of a game that I wanted to play for so long that's finally come onto PC. Let's talk about it. All right, so the first bit of this little news is that Nintendo has actually outsold the PlayStation 5. That Nintendo has outsold the PlayStation 4 in terms of its lifetime sales overall. And let me bring this up here. I thought it was interesting because I was like, damn, I wonder when Nintendo is actually really going to get to that point. This comes from VG Charts, and it's interesting because right here, you can see the Switch has sold an estimated, at least recently here, is 1.3, a little over that, 1.3 million units, week ending of November 26, 2022. So in lifetime sales, that puts it at 117.27 million units sold. And this is actually with the regular Switch, the Switch Lights, and the OLED Switch. Now we know with the OLED Switches that Nintendo has put out recently, like the Splatoon 3 Switch, that had sold very well, obviously. And then the newest one with the Pokemon one that they sold recently, that has been selling very well. And you know damn well that they're going to bring a Zelda one when the time comes for the new Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's what it was called. So yeah, it's gonna be they're gonna be selling a lot more of these damn things, and it makes me wonder because when you look here, going down the list here, or down this article, excuse me, you see that the next one up is the Game Boy, which I remember. I used to have one. I loved my Game Boy. It was awesome. My dad and I used to fight over it all the time. He used to want to play Tetris on it all the time and try to take it from me. So yeah, it was a fun little device there. But that sits at 118.69 million units sold, and then after that is the Nintendo DS, which has 154.02 million units sold. And it's funny because in this article, they didn't mention the number one, which we all know is the PlayStation 2. And if we look here, I actually looked it up. This is now, all of this right here, this is now out of date because the Switch is just under the PS4, but that has now been taken, that fourth place spot. But you can see the PlayStation 2 is still sitting at that 159. And it's funny, I thought it was like at about 155, 156 or something like that. But this is at 159 million units worldwide. So the PlayStation 2 is still king. I'm just wondering, like, wow, what if the Switch overtakes the PlayStation 2? That'd be the first time that that's happened in years. Like, that's going to be a big one if it does happen. And with the way that the Switch is selling more consoles, I don't know, man. It's gonna get close. I would at least argue that the Switch will definitely more than likely capture, or most likely catch up to the DS, and that's really crazy because the DS sold a lot of units there too. And that was out for a long time too. And the Switch, like I said before in previous videos, Nintendo is very, in my opinion anyways, I think Nintendo's very scared to move on to the next thing because I don't think they really know how. Because the Wii U was a flop, even though I like the system. They've ported vast majority of the games from the Wii U to the Switch. It's a great success. They've made newer content as well, as alongside with all those ports that I just said from the Wii U to the Switch. But I just don't think they want to abandon that ship because they know what they have, and they know that they're going to just sit on it for the longest time. But trying to figure out how to like go into the next one to really do better than what they're currently doing right now, that's a very difficult thing to do. At least with the Wii U, it was, I didn't believe in it, but they did, and look where it got them. It's a big success for them, and that scares them because if they tank on the next one, then it's going to be very hard to get people's trust again going into the next one, even further down the road. But the Switch has now sold more than the PlayStation 4, which is funny because the PS4 is still technically on the market because the PS5 has been out for the last 2 years, but it's slowly being phased out because there's a lot of other games in development now that is specifically focusing on the PS5. There's a few here and there, but after all that, within the next year, that thing's going to be done. The second bit of news that I wanted to talk about, this was more of an announcement, and this is from the Game Awards. I didn't watch the Game Awards. I don't really care to watch the Game Awards. I don't really it just doesn't excite me to watch that sort of thing. It's cool that they recognize a lot of different games, game of the year or best art style, best, music, best actor or actress or whatever the case. Like it's cool that they acknowledge these sort of things, and I always read up on it later on after it's all said and done. I just don't really care to watch the show. Though I do know that they will show certain trailers. And one of the trailers we got really excited me because you guys know, if you've been watching for a while, I've been talking about this for a bit, where one game that was on PlayStation 5, it was an exclusive to PlayStation 5, keyword was exclusive to the PlayStation 5, and that was Returnal. Returnal looks like it's a fun game to play. I've watched some trailers, and I didn't want to watch any gameplay footage. I didn't want to do any of that shit because I wanted to play it and experience it for myself for the first time going into it. And we've heard so many rumors about this thing coming onto PC, coming onto Steam. It is now official. They put that trailer out there. It is coming to Steam. We don't have an official release date yet, and it is... But I will say it is up on Steam's store page, and there's no release date. It just says coming soon, just like the trailer when they announced it, coming soon. And while that's unfortunate, we don't know an exact release date. The best part about this entirely is the fact that knowing that we have this game finally making its way onto PC. I don't even care if it's a full $60 price tag. I am going to buy this. I've been looking forward to playing this game for a very long time, and now it's coming. Obviously, it's going to be next year, because at this point now, it's December? Yeah, I'm looking at right now. It's December 12th. So it's definitely going to be next year. Who knows if it's going to be in the spring? I don't know. I would assume probably somewhere in the spring, maybe in the summertime at the latest. But either way, that game is coming. It is up on the Steam page. I've already got it on my wish list because the moment that it's live and available for purchase, I'm totally getting this game. So I just wanted to gush about that part anyways. It's really the more interesting part of this whole video is basically just sharing with you guys that the fact that the Switch is the 4th best-selling console of all time. It's crazy how it really got up to that point, because I personally didn't believe in it. Like I said before, I didn't believe in the Switch because coming off of the heels from the Wii U going into that console, and especially when they launched it with, again, outdated tech, I didn't think that was going to help anything. And the other issue that I had at the launch, I know that there's not really a whole lot to choose from when you first get a game console, but like 5 games at release, and one of them was only worth a damn, and that was the Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, you gotta think, I didn't know what their plans were. And I honestly, this was at the point though, before we even knew that Nintendo was going to port all of their Wii U titles. As soon as we started seeing a couple of them, that's when I thought to myself, that makes sense, because those are finished games. They're polished games, and all they had to do is just bring it on over. So, and look at with some of these games that have had certain additional updates to it, or upgrades, if you will. I mean, Mario Kart 8 alone is getting all of these new courses. They got the booster pack course, and you've got different waves. We're already on wave 3. Wave 3 is out there now. I don't know when the 4th one's going to be, because that 3rd one just released, and so far I've been enjoying the crap out of it. It's really cool. I'm kind of hooked on it. But yeah, so the Switch, congrats to Nintendo, man, because they're really, even with a system that was basically out of date from the very beginning, which will be, next year will be like 6 years that the system's been out in the market. I think they're going to have this system be out as long as like the whole DS line, from like the DS to the 3DS. They're probably going to do the same thing here with the Switch. They're just going to just milk the shit out of this thing as long as they possibly can. But either way, congrats to Nintendo. And finally, thank you, Sony, for bringing Returnal onto PC. Cannot wait to play that game. I'm very much excited. What do you guys think? Are you going to get it on PC? The new Return, well, not new, but Returnal, probably new to you guys if you haven't played it, if you're in the same boat as me. So it's going to be a new experience to us. But, you know, are you going to get it for your PCs? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.